Anxiety, depression, self-harm, suicide. You've heard of them all before. The struggle to be happy with who you are grows every second of every day, with the people around you telling you how to look and how to behave. You don't quite fit in at the beginning, you're stuck forever. You can't be accepted. That's what society has come to, forcing everyone into groups of how clever they are, how much money they have, how many friends they have. The list is endless. But then there are the people who are hidden away, the ones who put on a fake smile every day. They're the ones who have been hurt so much that they see no point in showing how they really are, because if they did, they'd only find themselves feeling the urge to have another scar. No one sees it until it's at its worst, but by then it's too late, because how can you see what's in someone else's mind who is convinced of their own fate? The darkness and the constant fears, the smile they have to force out to fight back the tears, the constant worry of every tiny thing that happens in their lives, from arguments that seem to go on forever to how long they think they can survive. Your mind races, overcomplicating everything that normal people wouldn't worry about, and it is something you can never truly understand until you've been through it yourself, to the point where you can never leave your home, or you've been hurt so many times that you make the choice to take a blade to your own skin whenever you're alone. You have to see the pain to control it. How can you run from something in your head that won't ever shut up? You destroy yourself on the outside to kill the demons on the inside, but it doesn't last forever. The scars fade and you crave for more until it turns into a never-ending war. You have to feel to know that the mental pain you're going through is real and you aren't going crazy. You can fit in and you will. You will be skinny. You will look perfect. You have to. But you've started what no one ever speaks of, self-harm, and you can't escape it, and you're different. You're trapped between the fear of living and the fear of death until all you feel is distant. How is that a way to live? If only you'd never made that first cut, if only you could just be confident, be happy, and never be called a slut. But it won't ever be that easy. Nothing ever is. School grade boundaries increase every year, along with the pressure to get those top grades, to be classed as clever, because apparently to get a job you have to know how to find X. You have to know why Steinbeck created George the way he did, and you have to recall 2 years worth of learning in just 2 hours. And if you can't remember how to work out the power that a specific kettle has when you're given only a few other values that seem completely unrelated, then that could make the difference between a pass and a fail. The revision and the exams go on for so long until you just can't concentrate anymore. You give up. What's the point in trying if you just don't get it? You don't understand, but the rest of the class has to move on anyway, because otherwise you won't cover the whole syllabus in time by the holidays. The teacher explains it once again to you, but even though it still makes no sense, you say it does. Because you don't want to be the dumb one who gets left behind, and you can't go back to go over it after school because there isn't enough time. When it's exam month, the revision gets to your head. Everything you do relates to it. You speed walk up the road because you're late for something, and your body carries out anaerobic respiration because there is a lack of oxygen causing lactic acid to be produced in your muscles. Why is that important for my future? Maybe it isn't. Maybe the teachers take the risk of piling on the pressure in order to get you your target grade so they can be promoted and look better. Maybe they don't see the hidden side, the one you keep to yourself. The constant need to get away, to have some time to yourself and forget all of your worries and deadlines and revision and friendships just for one day. You thought that year 9 was the end of having to perform in front of the class because you could finally drop drama, but then you got to English just to find that you had to write and then read a speech in front of everyone, and you forget how it ever felt to feel calmer. It builds up inside you, the worries, the stress, the need to scream, and the knowledge that you have to find time to revise for that test. The thought of those blades waiting for you at home comes into your head every time you feel alone, but then you think, how long can I keep this up for? You're exhausted, you always feel so full of tension, and the feelings are holding you down. How could you possibly ever tell someone that you need help? You'll be labelled as an attention seeker, and word will spread around school faster than rumours that aren't even true. You'll just have to suffer on your own. But all of the stress of trying to balance getting good grades and getting enough sleep along with still having time for your friends gets too much. Whatever you choose to do, someone will always be disappointed in you. All of your thoughts are kept inside, and it keeps getting worse until you can't hide. You don't want to live anymore. You can't stay strong anymore. But how many suicides does it take to make people realise that the shit they say hurts, and that the schoolwork is just too much, and that the arguments between friends is hurting you so badly that you just wish you could disappear? No one wants to help you, because if you die, they'll feel that it was their fault and that they could have done more, so they leave you to struggle alone. And you can't talk to anyone else about it in the fear of bringing them down with you. Anxiety, depression, self-harm and suicide all come down to one thing: society. It changed the way you think about yourself and shows you that you can never be perfect and that someone else will always be better than you. You can't eat because you're fat, and you have to have a thigh gap, and your stomach has to be flat. How long will it take for us to realise that this problem is growing, and how much longer will it take us to actually do something about it? Understand that it is not the sufferer that controls their actions, feelings, or how much they have bled, but it is in fact society that controls, changes, and is the voice inside their head.